Well, it's been a while, and I wanted to make a quick video on a mistake that I made. I'm following my buddy Robbie over at United by Trucks Lead, and I want to be full transparency, full disclosure on my build. So, as you know, on this thing, I've been anal retentive about everything, probably to a fault on a lot of things. So, I don't know how to say it. So, on the exhaust, I'm capable of welding exhaust and done it before and built plenty of exhaust, but this one just needed some work. And with 3 kids, a family, trying to run a business, and trying to do all this, it would have taken me 2 months to do this. So I took my truck to a local shop that builds street rods, and they're going to be unnamed. I'm not going to tell anybody what the name is. Only a couple of people know, and if it ends up in the comments, I'm going to delete them just because I don't want any more bad blood than there already is. So I took my truck to a local shop to have some exhaust work done, and I had pretty high expectations. I had seen their work before. I was shown one of the cars that they just finished an exhaust on, and it looked great. We had talked it over. We weren't going to do any TIG welding of anything. It was all going to be MIG'd, which I'm fine with. This is not, it's a nice truck. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not, at the time I wasn't worried about TIG welded exhaust. I just wanted an exhaust that came out the back that quieted it down, because it rumbled pretty good, had a pretty bad resonance inside the cab at idle. So I took it there, told them what I wanted done. I bought a MagnaFlow kit. I think I had that in some previous videos before, but I had a MagnaFlow kit that fit sort of kinda. These things, they're made for long beds and short beds. So the X pipe, long story short, it puts the X pipe in a really weird spot. It was underneath the transmission pan. I just didn't like it. So I had the X pipe moved, and then the back here, I don't know if you can see this, I had the tank and the suspension and all that. So trying to get up and around, the MagnaFlow just wasn't going to work. So just kind of modify that. Well, as you're about to see, what I got back was not what I was expecting. I now have a severed relationship with this shop and a couple employees that work there that I would, they run in the same circle of friends, which is tough, but that's the nature of the beast. I had pretty high expectations. I'm pretty inattentive about this, and I just don't think I got what I was told I was going to get. It was still a bill of goods, and while it's functional, it does not fit the look or design of the truck. So anyway, I wanted to kind of show a little video today of what happened, where I went wrong, and what the plan is. So here in the back, you can see the tailpipe. So I had them both tucked out underneath the bumper here. So when it's on the ground, you can't see it. So that's perfect. I like that. I like the look of it. The tailpipes are pretty good. They're a little close to the tank on either side here and here. So I'm actually in the process. Those are stainless steel zip ties hanging down. I've got some ceramic DEI heat wrap that I put on each side there, so that to kind of keep the heat out of the tank. There is a pretty good gap there. There's 3/8 on both sides. It doesn't look like it, but there is. But underneath the truck, it's a little different story. So this is what's left at the remnants of a MagnaFlow kit. This is just kind of where we went south a little bit here. And again, I'm not naming names. I don't want to point fingers at this point. We've beat that horse. I don't want to keep beating it, but I'll get to them here in a minute. I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. So it goes up and over the axle here. It's a little tight over here on sorry, I keep pointing with the flashlight there, on the panhard bar mount. But I took some time and got it everything tweaked out, so everything's good. Everything's sitting in here. The mufflers are sitting in here a little wonky. Granted, this is underneath the truck, but just my OCD, anal retentiveness, that I like those things square with each other. Again, it's perfectly functional, but it's just not really what I was expecting. So up here, we come to the X pipe, which is now no longer underneath the pan, but it's back here. And as you can see, symmetry, while functional, there's no symmetry here. Works, but it's not symmetrical, and that kind of drives me a little bit nuts. But neither here nor there. Looking here, I don't know what's possibly rusting inside there, because it's all stainless, but must be some leftover slag in there from some welding. But anyway, so the X pipe is in. I went ahead and had them add V-bands here, since my headers are V-bands, so that removing the transmission will be a whole lot easier. So So this leg here and that leg here are independent, and you can take the V-bands and pop those legs out to get 100% access to the transmission. So, and then I also added some flex pipes up here, just because these being those Speed Engineering headers, they are Chinese. They were extremely cheap. When I bought them, they were like $140, $130, something like that, shipped. I know they've crept up to close to 200, which is still a bargain, but I just wanted to take any vibration out of those headers because I don't want to crack those welds. And these things, I've always used these, so I had those added in there. So that's kind of the system we're working on, we're working with right now. Like I say, 100% functional, does everything it's supposed to, a little tight around the tank, but that leads me to my plan. So fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, what this does in my life is, and my wife probably thinks this unfortunately, but when things like this happen, I tend to try to learn how to do it and do it myself. So what I have started brainstorming is possibly this winter or sometime in the next couple of years, because again, this is functional, I'm going to take this entire kit off and put it all in the shop and use nothing but the mufflers. So I am going to, A, get a TIG welder. That's a hard sell on my wife there. So I'm going to see what I can do, see if we can make something like that happen. B, buy a mandrel builder's kit in stainless. C, teach myself how to TIG weld. I've never TIG welded in my life. I've MIG welded. I did some stick welding back in middle school, high school. But I'm going to try to teach myself. I got a box full of mandrel scraps that I'm going to try to see if I can't just figure it out. I know I'm not going to be professional at it, but I'm going to try to learn. And D, I'm going to make a video series about it to try to teach you guys how to lay these things out, because I did some digging around on YouTube, and there's not a whole lot of instructional videos on how to fabricate an exhaust with mandrel bends and a TIG welder. So I'm going to take it upon myself to try to learn how to do all this, build an exhaust, and show you all how to build that exhaust with a TIG welder, and you can come along with my trials and tribulations on how to learn how to TIG weld. I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited. My wife, not so much, because I'm going to have to spend more money because I'm already deep into this exhaust, because the MagnaFlow, as you all know, is not cheap. And I cut it up, and there's not a whole lot left of it. So I think it's going to be a fun little adventure. I hope you guys stick around for that. Like I say, it's probably not going to be until the winter time because of just budgetary constraints. With everything going on in the world, business is slow, and that's going to be a tough sell on my wife trying to buy a $1,000 plus TIG welder just to appease myself and make this exhaust what I thought it was going to be in my mind. So. But anyway, that's kind of my plan. I wanted to get a video out there and take ownership for what I did, because I don't know what happened. Lack of judgment, lack of communication with the people. I just don't know. I mean, I take some blame for this, because evidently there was a lack of communication there. So, but anyway, that's what I got for today. I'm hoping to get some more projects going. I've got some laundry list of things that still need to be finished up on this thing. And one thing I just actually saw sitting on the shelf was the emergency brake cable. So I do need to do that, get the emergency brake cable set up. And I have an idea on how I'm going to do that and utilize, well, it's all still up here. It's just sitting up here. See if I can get the light on. You can see the cables right there. I'm going to utilize the stock cable and it kind of comes around the cable hoop that comes around here, and then I'm going to put the Willwood. I got the universal line. I'm going to put a bulkhead in the trailing arm crossmember here and over here, and try to utilize all the stock business up there with the aftermarket out back to get this all hooked up. So hopefully that'll be coming up here pretty quick too. Just a matter of finding time. Unfortunately, time is a commodity these days, but we'll make it happen. So anyway, this is one of those life lessons. Unfortunately, it was an expensive life lesson, but we all learn them. Sometimes we learn them the hard way. Sometimes they're not so hard, but this was an expensive one. So I hope this helps with anybody's anybody else's exhaust, to kind of maybe be a little more open and tell the shop exactly what you want, and don't leave it open for interpretation, because this is where it got me, and such is life. That's how it goes. So we live and learn, and we will proceed on and hopefully come up with something better. So anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to. Share some videos. Tell your friends and family. Love to hear from everybody. But anyway, we will see you next time.